Reusse Unchained. I know you weren't glued to the 9:45 start time game last night, Pat. But the bad news is Anthony Edwards with 2 technical fouls is now suspended. I think he's rivaled DeMarcus Cousins for the earliest player to get suspended in a season for too many technical fouls. On the good side, Terrence Shannon Jr. is awesome. So
Yes, he is. He's been terrific. He puts his head down, goes to the basket. If he happens to run over somebody, that's okay. But yeah, he's. I mean, I loved him last year. You couldn't watch the Big Ten tournament last year without loving him, and I just couldn't figure out what they were waiting for to not even. I mean, he spent what the first 30 games he played. He was in Iowa way more than he was up here. So. The only reason he got drafted where he was because he was old, right? Because he was a 50-year player. He was 23.
yeah,
We can't be wasting a high draft choice on somebody that old. But Ant is he's now in a situation where they're looking for him, and every time he gets two from now on, he gets suspended another game, right?
yeah. But
And what's he making? 23 or something like that? Is he making that much yet? But every time you miss a game like this, it's got to cost him what? A couple 100,000? I don't know what it's costing him each game, but he's not a smart guy. He's just not an intelligent fella. That's our problem here. He's not smart. He's a good guy, animated, plays hard, does all those things. But I think he's kind of a dummy. That's what I think.
he
So,
definitely lacks emotional intelligence. We
yes,
talked about this on
yes,
Flagrant Howls, where it's like he doesn't have any ability to put some space between what's happening, and
yes.
he has no self control. He can't police himself, shooting bad shots in the fourth quarter, talking to officials, even like swearing in front of the cameras after games. It's like, dude, just a little bit of self policing here could
So,
go a long way.
so tell me about the thing with Jared. Was it necessary to call technicals on that, or were
It
those
was weird. It
guys
was
just
at
being
the end of the
over?
first quarter. They kind of like they
Oh
had
my
some
God.
words, and then Ant like shoved Jared Vanderbilt, and like they've been friends in the past. So I don't really
Yeah.
know what
Was it, do we know if it was just screwing around or if it was, if they were angry at each other
they were
or what
definitely
was
angry at each other. They were very
Okay.
it was very contentious. Yeah.
Mm-mm. He just got to realize that, I'm sure that you can swear at these officials if they're not out. Like, you can say, "What the hell?" You can yell at them if you're not on their radar. But he's on everybody's radar now, so he's they're gonna have a good time. Hey, how many? What's your prediction, fellas? How many more is he gonna miss because of tees? At least two. At least two. He'll get up
He's
to
for
20, won't he?
he's for sure picking up because there's 24 games left. So
Yes.
if he couldn't police himself going into the last couple games,
Yeah.
if the threat of a suspension was not enough for him to be like, all right, I need to take a breath and calm down here. He won't be able to in a moment where he gets hacked and doesn't get the
Yes.
call. And what I hate is like there's a lot of fans who just focus on the bad call. Okay,
Yeah.
there's going to be in the game in your career, there's going to be X percentage of bad calls that are baked into your career and equation. Are you just going to freak out and fly off the handle every single time? Like other
Let's
star players in NBA history didn't. So
Yeah,
why can't you?
Draymond is, that's a hell of a role model to have for complaining to officials. But, the other thing is, let's realize that the game is impossible to officiate. You got to start from that point, right? You have very large men out there colliding in an instant, and you're trying to judge the line on what to call fouls on and what not to call fouls on. And last night, all indications are that the Lakers got the best of it. But I mean, what do you get? You could see Finch's post games are he doesn't he certainly loves having Edwards on his side, but it also drives him crazy. And that now he knows that he can keep saying he's got to control himself, but he can't control himself. So saying
Right.
it doesn't do you any good at all, right?
Right. And the problem last night, Pat, is he gets the second tech. Okay. It was questionable. He walks around with the basketball after he's been tossed because of the second tech, and then ultimately throws it into the stands.
Yes,
So he threw
that's
the
good.
basketball. So it's like if you wanted any sympathy at all about
Yes.
this, you've now lost it because you cannot throw the basketball into the stands.
No, and the league, the league still had to determine whether both of them were legitimate. Well, throwing the ball in the stands,
That's what
he's
I said.
also whatever the fine is for missing a game, he's going to get another 50,000 for throwing the ball in the stands. They're gonna hit him again for throwing the ball in the stands too. How often do you see that in the NBA in a full season, 82 games? Three times, maybe. Who throws the ball in the stands? Yeah, he's I don't know. I think we're getting to the point. I guess you can't do it, but we got to take the kid gloves off this guy and start pointing out that he's dumb. He's dumb. As far as his emotions on a basketball court, he's just a very immature kid. This is year five too, right? This is year
Mm-hmm.
five. It's
Yeah.
not like he's a newbie, and you know what? You never really see him over BSing with a ref either, do you? I mean, some of them come over there and Connolly's over there making jokes with them and laughing with them, and you don't really see him having any kind of relationship with these guys. And as the season progresses, 82 games, and these guys referee what 50? They 50 games. They're bitter by then. They're sick of being called names. They're looking for that Tony Brothers. He walks into the gym every day saying, "Who can I get a hold of? Who can I call two T's on and throw out of the rain of the day?" You
Yeah.
got guys like that in the league, and this Blakeney is a well-known technical giver too. So
Yeah, there's like a human relationship dynamic with the officials that he has not met. You can get away with a higher end of complaining if you've clowned around about your
yes,
families before the game or whatever it
yes.
is, right? And he does not do that buttering up that other players do.
No. So now, however, after the Lakers, by the way, what are charging towards the number two seed?
With the Warriors trailing them, by the way,
Yes,
56
yes,
for Steph last night.
50. Did you see how many Jimmy threw in? Five. Steph had 56. Jimmy had five.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Warriors are coming up. I mean, the West. Oh man, I still think Memphis is really good too, and OKC, of course, is really good. And we've already had our miracle against them, so against OKC. But the schedule gets easy now, so they got to stop screwing up and blowing games to
Yep.
dogs. If you're more than a 5-point favorite, you can't lose a game the rest of the way, you morons. So
And
what's
win at
the word
home.
on Rudy? Is he retiring or what's going on? Where's he?
He still has some back spasms. I don't know, a locked up back, something.
And Randall didn't make the trip, right? Didn't
No,
Correct.
he
Rand?
stayed. Yeah, he either. I think he was he along for, or did he stay back entirely? But Dante DiVincenzo was back last night
Yes,
and
right.
very
That's
effective.
good. That's good. But it's well, I mean, the game came out as I expected it to, so I'm not, Ant just getting thrown out. I think it's good he gets thrown out. They'll go out there, play well without him. Shannon will play well without him. They'll win the game and maybe show to the immature moron that, that we don't need you. If you're gonna be that dumb, we don't need you.
Here's a question for you. So we have now had the second report of the before Luka was traded to the Lakers. Apparently, the Mavericks called the Bucks about Giannis, but they called and offered Luka for Anthony Edwards to the Timberwolves, and the Wolves said no.
Well, I would say no too, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
I'd
we
say no too.
debated this on the show, and it's very 50-50, but we ultimately, I think, said no.
In 5 years from now, Ant will have played 350 regular season games, and Luka will have played 250 regular season games or something like that. Ant's got a live body, and Luka doesn't. But it is amazing that Dallas. I mean, what was the? I can't wait to talk to somebody who would tell you something off the record, because what was it? What was it? Just
They
that he was out
apparently
of
there's
shape, or he didn't give a
yeah.
damn? He didn't practice. What was it?
Yes, all of it, and apparently there's so many stories now leaking out because the fans are so pissed, and the Mavericks
Yes.
are trying to justify what they did, and apparently people in the Mavericks organization called him Hookah Doncic because he loves hookah
Oh,
and he loves to drink a beer,
oh,
and
really?
it drove people nuts that he would get into the extracurricular
Well,
vices.
we could get him then here, and I could. We got a nice house across the street for sale. He could buy the house because we got a hookah lounge right up the street, block and a
Yeah,
Yep.
half away, and it's a good crowd in there all the time. It's great. The old
is that by
strip,
Teresa's or where?
the old yeah, no, it's up right up
The
from
other
us.
way.
The old strip mall up there.
Okay.
There's a
Oh yeah, I've driven by
tobacco.
that strip mall.
There's a
Uh-huh.
tobacco store, and then then there's all day long. There's 4 cars, and all of a sudden there's 50. And the youth is we got the hookah lounge. I've always wanted to go in there, but I'm afraid that they'd think I was the cops or something.
The contact guy. No, you can go in there.
I would
That's
like to
fine.
see what's going on.
So I understand being concerned about the beer, okay? Because you're a
Yes.
professional athlete. He is a very doughy looking dude. But if we're gonna start to judge on the hookah,
Yeah.
then the NBA is gonna be in big trouble because
You
ain't no
know,
one gonna be left.
the greatest thing the NBA ever did was finally say, "Okay, you can smoke." Now everybody,
Yes.
it was because they never wanted to catch somebody, and now every league, right? You can smoke in every league, right? Can
I think so. Yeah.
NFL let you
I think
smoke?
you can smoke dope now, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, we're bringing up the Luka and the fans being mad about Luka is the dumbest campaign ever, the one the Cowboys fans are having called Fire Jerry. He's Jerry's the only guy who can fire Jerry. Do you realize this, fans? Jerry, who's going to fire
Are
Jerry?
we directing it to the other owners? Because that's the
Uh,
only way, right? The other owners would have to
yeah.
band
Or his
together and
son.
kick.
I don't think his son's going to fire him. Steve, is he? But they got this big, and they're selling T-shirts. And you look now, you got all these ads on the internet. They're probably selling thousands of these T-shirts. Fire Jerry. Well, I don't think Jerry's going to fire himself. So
Yeah,
They got
people are
hugs and
upset,
stuff.
man. The Steven Jones came out and said at the combine that their plan is to be selectively aggressive, and people are wondering. Those seem like two very different words if you're
yeah, but
parsing apart.
everybody in the NFL spends the cap instead of except the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, what's being aggressive is
Yeah,
you can only go so far. So
correct. But
what the hell?
but part of it is they went further with a quarterback than anyone else has gone, giving $60 million a year
Yes,
to Dak
that was
Prescott.
That's
stupid.
the
So
Yeah.
problem.
And you know what? Everybody put a lot of pressure on him to do that. I think deep in his heart he didn't want to do it. And the next big screw up is coming in San Francisco, though. The mediocre Brock Purdy is going to get a lot of money. I'd give him, uh, I'd give him I'd give him 20. Say, this is it, buddy. You want to be a quarterback here? You want
Oh,
to sit in the bench someplace? But they're going to end up giving him 50, and they're going to regret it because
if
he is.
you had two, you have to give $45 million a year to either Brock Purdy or Sam Darnold. If you're the
Neither. I decline. No, thank you. I'm going to bring back
Max
Case
Brosmer.
Keenum. I'm going to bring back Max Brosmer.
You're gonna sign Max.
Uh, I wonder how Max is doing. Max, you know who? I heard Mason declaring Max the best quarterback in the Big Ten last year.
oh well, he's
Yeah,
at the combine. I think they do
yeah,
quarterback drills this weekend, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a
Okay.
hell of a story. It would if he ended up. He'll be maybe a third teamer someplace.
He'll go to a camp.
Why don't some of these guys go to Canada? Go up there and play and you don't make a huge amount of money, but you get to play instead of hold a clipboard for goodness.
Yeah, weird rules though. The field's different. I don't know.
Yeah.
So you probably make more money doing that than playing in the UFL, though, don't you?
Well, I would think so. Yeah,
I don't know how much they
I
have
don't
now.
know. Is the UFL playing yet? Has anybody seen anything?
Couple weeks. I think
Declan's excited.
it's like the week after NFL free agency, right? Pretty sure.
Yeah, Declan loves it, Pat.
Hey, Judley, did the worst thing that ever happened to your hockey team that the Phoenix Coyotes moving to Utah? Is that the worst thing that ever happened?
No, the worst thing was Jules Eriksson went and played for his country when he was hurt, and now he's out for a long, extended time. That was the worst thing.
That's where his injury comes from, huh? Oh,
of course.
Yeah.
He didn't mysteriously get hurt in practice.
Is that what they're trying to say?
No, he got hurt in practice on Sunday or something. No, he didn't. He went hurt.
Yeah.
They had a meeting behind the scenes, and they were like, okay, if we tell the truth, then that Judd guy is going to go on every possible platform and savage us. So we can't have that.
Yes.
I'm telling you, it was a stress reaction. They were hoping it wouldn't go, and it went. I'm telling you, that's what it is.
I don't know. I'm just looking forward to the Four Nations Cup in July instead of the All-Star game. We can play Australia, Japan, huh?
We've got the league going to the Olympics next year.
No, I mean in baseball we could play we could have the Four Nations Cup, interrupt the season for 2 weeks so that I've been reading Lavelle and Rand and Suad, and they think we should have a Four Nations Cup in
why aren't you weighing
baseball, huh?
Where's your column about this? The Star Tribune clearly had a mandate to write about how hockey can be followed as this visionary. Where's the Reusse column?
Follow hockey. I had to make a plea to the boss. No more, please. No more. We've beaten that horse to death. But anyway, I was at St. Thomas last night, by the way, overhearing the 1500 broadcast by our guy.
Nice.
And they played very well, but they're older. They're not old arena. This one's 2010 or 11, Schoenecker. But they're playing their last basketball games there this weekend, and they have another one Saturday. They're pretty good. They really move the ball well. They had a nice crowd, and it's there's no way the Gophers can continue to avoid playing them, is there?
It's the most ridiculous, cowardly, dumb. I think Ben Johnson even answered a question about it a couple months ago saying, like, there's really no advantage to us. There's no upside.
Yes. People coming to the game. That's an advantage.
And getting them to round up for NIL.
Yes.
Let's go.
Instead of 2,900 for North Alabama or somebody, you get 11,000. How's that? And if you can't beat them, you're in trouble. I can tell you one thing, though. Ben's going to get out coached if he takes on Tower. The way they move the ball is fantastic.
I did stumble into a Gopher Hole thread of people wanting Tom Crean to take over the Gopher job. How would you guys feel?
I'm on the Tony Bennett bandwagon. I think Tony Bennett, he just got sick of. He's got expectations in Virginia. He just couldn't take them anymore. His mind was blowing up, and he's in that league. He's not ready to quit. He'd love to come here with no expectations and coach like hell and play Wisconsin 58-54 and stuff like that. It's no, I don't know who is. I'd take Crean. But Crean's got to be $5 million. Are they going to come up with $5 million for Crean?
If we have to start a GoFundMe to help get relevant basketball back in that arena, I will happily spearhead that.
How about the other guy that they ran out of Indiana, Kelvin Sampson?
Yeah,
that cost you a lot of money, but that guy can coach. That guy's fantastic. He's ended up he's tying for the Big 12 conference title again this year. He's probably going to end up winning it. They weren't supposed to be that good this year either, but he can really coach. He got ran out of there.
BS violation though?
Well,
That
some goofy, stupid thing. Yeah, that was
who
not that big a
cares?
deal. Was not that big a deal. No, there aren't any violations anymore. They keep,
Yeah.
Musty would be free and clear now if it was now. He could have paid all these guys. What the hell?
Hey, I did find on your guy Tony Bennett here. So just reading a piece here that he stunned the college basketball world with his retirement at just 55 years of age, 18 days before opening tip-off. He cited the state of unregulated NIL money as reasons why he was no longer equipped to coach modern basketball. Well, if he comes to a program that doesn't really have NIL money,
Yeah,
he doesn't
right.
have to worry about that.
Yes, that's right. We got standards here. We don't throw that money around. We got Femi here. He's playing for $50. So what the
Yeah,
hell? I don't know. What?
amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a completely different world. But Tony Bennett isn't done coaching at 55, and nobody in the NBA is going to take him. A guy that people are talking up is this Ben McCollum at Drake. He was the guy. He's only there 1 year. He was at Northwest Missouri all the time. But if you like possession, end of the clock basketball, check out Ben, because they throw screens all over the place and put her up with about 2 seconds to go. I saw him play Mankato last year in a great game. But he's won a lot of games. But that is possession basketball that he plays too.
Okay. I personally like just dribbling the clock down and shooting a
Yes.
contested three from 28 feet. But
That's right.
all right, Pat,
All
enjoy the
right,
NFL
gents.
Combine this weekend and
Oh,
the 3-cone drills. Should be exciting.
yeah. I mean, we're I don't know what happened to my Star Tribune, but we got 3 people at the combine. Is that interesting? I don't know.
Well,
I
it's
don't
more
know.
about the
Never enough.
rumors and the buzz and the information gathered than it is about the 40-yard dash or whatever the hell. Yeah.
All right, gents.
All right,
See
Pat.
ya.
We'll talk to you
Bye.
next week. Reusse
Bye.
Unchained on Score North.